Well, hello. My name's Riley. Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell, it's Christmassy vibes. I've got my sweater on and my Christmas PJ pants. So, we're not really getting festive today. It's more of like a end of year kind of wrap up, New Year's kind of thing. We're going to be tier ranking all the books I read in 2025, which I think is 75 books. And it's technically more than that, according to Goodreads, it's 75. It's technically more than that. But for today's purposes, we're going to be ranking 75. And I say it's more than that because I didn't log some of the books I read. And I also read things twice, a couple times. So that is not counted into that count. Yeah, I think this is 75 books. Let's do some quick maths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 14 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Yeah, 14 times 5. I can do that really fast. 70. Right, and I've always said that. Look, I'm not gonna go into depth of review for all of these books. It's a tier list, so I'm just gonna put it in a box. If I feel strongly one way or the other, I will let you know my reasons as succinctly as possible. But a lot of these books I have mentioned in other videos, so if you want more of an in-depth analysis review of them, I'll link those videos somewhere. So I guess we should just begin. So let's switch on over. How about we cover up this ad? I would love that because that ad is pissing me off. This is my tier list I made. Let me go through my tiers and I'll explain to you what I was thinking. So I have just a DNF tier down here. I didn't DNF that many books, but I don't feel like it's fair to rate books that I didn't finish. So I'm just gonna put books that I'd never finished. We have my bottom tier here, Soak My Brain in Acid is what I'm calling it, because I wish this tier is the worst tier, and it is gonna be for books that I wish I could forget that I read for one reason or another, which we will go through as I go through. And then we have just plain bad, whether that's bad writing, bad vibes, bad characters, I had a bad time reading it, something like that. And then we have I Don't Know Who This Man Is in yellow. And you guys know that Kiki Palmer meme from the lie detector? When they ask her if she knows some guy and she's like, I don't know who this man is. That is what we're doing here. It's basically for books that I don't really remember reading. And they weren't very memorable. They didn't stick around for me in my brain. So I'm going to put them there because it's kind of in the middle, and it's kind of like, it's not good enough for me to remember, but it's also probably not bad, it's kind of just there. Maybe that's for books that I do remember reading, but I remember it being not that great, just kind of okay. That is what meh is for. It was like, asi, if you speak Spanish. And then we have I'd Recommend, which is just like, these are good books. Like, you should read this. I'd recommend this to like my mom, my friends, things like that. And then for our best tier, I have Injected, which, injected into my veins. I would read this every day if I could. Like, those are going to be my 5-6 stars reads of the year, basically. So I guess let's jump right in. I don't have these in any specific order down here. These are all of them. So I guess we're just going to start here. So the first one we've got is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This is a good book. I enjoyed this. I know there was a lot of back and forth with this book. People had mixed opinions. I didn't love it, but it was pretty good. I'd probably go for I'd recommend. Emily Henry, she's a great writer. It was beautiful. It was beautifully written, as all of her books. Was it her best? No. I think there was things that could have been done better. But overall, I think I'd recommend it to people. Well, okay, maybe I'm moving down to meh. I'll leave it in I recommend for now. And if we'll see what else gets in that category. And if things might change. Then we have The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Now, I know that this author has recently come under some flack for some things that happened in her past. I think some tweets came up, which I'm not gonna get into because I don't know all the details. I just saw something in passing on social media about it. But I really did enjoy it as a whole. Look, I'm gonna go with, I liked it better than Great Big Beautiful Life, but I don't know if it's good enough to go into Inject It. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna put in Inject It for now. Again. Okay, so maybe I'll move Great Big Beautiful Life here and The Conditions of Will into I'd recommend. I think I'm okay with that. All right. Now we're moving. But yeah, I think I talk about that book in another YouTube video. I think it's in the Taylor Swift songs as romance novels book, my very first video. If you want to go back and watch that, I think I talk more in detail about this book. Again, if you don't want to support the author, I completely understand. I read this before that came out, or the information came out, so take that with a grain of salt. Okay, next we have Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. Look, I think I'm gonna go, this might be a hot take. I know, look, I had fun reading this, okay? I did. Is it Ali Hazelwood's best? No. Is it her worst? No. So I think I'm gonna go with, I'd recommend, because, like, it's good. I don't think it'd be meh. I need one in between here, I think. And then I would put it, like, here, like, in between these two. But I think I'm going to leave it in I'd recommend, because I would recommend it. I do think it's a fun book, a fun summer read by the pool, by the beach, you know, problematic romances. We love those when they're not, taking advantage of someone else or something, Next, we have Wild Side by Elsie Silver, I think. I also think she's under fire recently for something, like, okay, I'm not going to get into all that because I don't know the details. But anyways, Wild Side, I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't know who this man is. I don't remember this book at all. It's just so basic, classic, small town cowboy romance, It's just one of those easy, simple, enjoyable for the moment, but didn't leave any lasting impressions. Wasn't, the next great American novel. So yeah, we're gonna put that in I don't know who this man is, because I don't remember it. Couldn't even give you a plot summary, honestly. Okay, next we have Sweet Heat by Bolu Babalola. This is a sequel to the first novel, It's called Honey and Spice. I recently read this. I really liked it. I love this author. I think she's so funny. I love the characters in this book. So I'm going to go, and I think it was a pretty good sequel. I did like the first one better. So I'm going to go with I'd recommend, because I would recommend it. I think it's good. I think you should definitely read the first one first, obviously, because, you got to get to know the characters. I think I read the first one last year, so I don't think it's on here. Next, we have She Wants My Attention. Hello. Come here. Yeah, she wants to play. Because it's raining outside, so we haven't all day. So we haven't had a lot of playtime today. So this is An Academic Affair by Jodi McAllister. I recently read this because I think it recently came out. But I'm going to be honest, you guys, I don't remember much about it. Like, I remember the plot. I remember liking it. I think I'm going to go with Great Big Beautiful Life. What did I rate this? I rated it 3.5 stars. So yeah, I think that's a good spot for that. Meh, I would say. I do think it's not as good as these books up here. Okay, next we have Mate by Ali Hazelwood, which is the sequel to Bride. And look, I really liked Mate. I thought it was really good. I read Bride a long time ago, so I can't really remember how it compares to that, because I didn't read it again before I read this. This came out recently. I read it recently. I think I gave it, let me see how many stars. I gave it 4 stars because I found it kind of slow at certain times. But overall, I really liked it. I would probably say I'd recommend. I think I liked it more than Problematic Summer Romance. I think I like Sweet Heat better than that too. So I'm gonna put this in the order of how much I like them. And then we have One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I also really liked this one. It's another romance. It's a very good summer read, I would say. It's very like heartwarming and cute. I think I would put this at, I don't know, better than meh, I would say. I'm gonna do an I'd recommend. I think I'm gonna go with right here. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna put it there in front of Sweet Heat but behind Mate. And then Soul Searching by Lila Sage. Lila Sage is another small town cowboy romance author usually, which this is that. It's not cowboy, it's more so small town vibes. It's about like this girl who moves back to town her family is from and meets a guy, a local, who owns a woodworking shop, something like that. She can like talk to ghosts or see ghosts. Talk to ghosts, that's her thing. So it's like a paranormal romance. I mean, she's not dating a ghost, but there is paranormal in the romance. Not part of the romance, you know? Does that make sense? Okay. This one, I honestly, guys, I liked it. I feel like there was things that could have been done better. So I'm gonna go with meh. Yeah, we'll put it there. Okay, next we have Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Kiss the Sky. I think it was published in 2014, so it's a pretty old book, but I read it this year. But if you want to hear more in-depth review of that, I talk about those characters in, again, my very first video, the Taylor Swift songs and romances. But low-key inject it. I don't know, guys. Something about this book, it was very different than a lot of the romances I read this year, which I appreciate. So I think I'm going to put it in inject it. I don't know. I don't know if the writing was there, but I really loved the story. It was also, this is the second book in the series. I didn't read the first one or any of the rest of them. Oh, I don't know. I think if I put that there, actually, I think I need to move Conditions of Will up to inject it. I really do. I feel bad doing that, I think, but I think I need to move that up. But I think I like this better than Mate. Yeah. Okay, that's it. All right. That's what I'm doing. Next, we have Song of Achilles, of course, classic. I mean, do we even have to talk about it? It's by Madeline Miller, and we're just gonna put it straight up to inject it. Like, if you haven't read this already, like, read it. Like, literally read it. Do you guys want to hear my Goodreads review of it? It's really funny. I gave it 5 stars. I said, well, that was heartbreaking, so beautifully written and tragic, and ugh, damn hubris, always ruining everything. Low-key Romeo and Juliet vibes, but gay, so way better. Also, can't even imagine the amount of research that went into writing this. Insane. Which, yeah, like, it's crazy. That's my like couple sentences review of this book. But yeah, we're putting it in inject. Next, we have If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia, who I'd never heard of before. I need to go more into her her books, I think, because this, guys, inject it. Look, you can say the writing's not there, sure, but the vibes are there, the characters are there, story's there, the plot is there, the single dad of it all is there, guys. I felt like I was reading a season of Gilmore Girls. It was perfect fall vibes. It was like, it's set in the 90s, guys. It's set in the 90s. And it goes all through from fall to like New Year's, I think. Oh my god, it's so good. There's a quirky dog. Like, it truly has it all. Everything I like in books, in romance books, it had it. So we're putting it in inject it because, oh my god. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Okay, next we have Brightside by Kim Holden, which is another older romance. Also, trigger warning if you ever want to read this book, it is indeed about cancer. No ATA. So yeah, just I didn't know that going in, and I read it when my grandmother was literally dying of cancer. So, just keep in mind time and place, right? And you did it at my birthday dinner. So, like, low-key soaked my brain in acid, but not for the reasons you might think. Look, it was good, okay? The story was good. I think I gave it like 4 or 3.5 stars. I can't really remember. But also, I don't think it was necessary. I think cancer books, I think they had their place, their time and place, their time and place in, you know, in the Fault in Our Stars of it all time period, because I think this was written then. So if I'd read it back then, I probably would have liked it a lot more. But I don't think I needed it. It didn't add anything to my life. And again, I read it at a bad time, and that's on me. I don't think it was bad. Like, it was a pretty good book. But, like, I want to soak my brain in acid and forget about it. You know? Okay. Moving right along, we have I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, which is the true story of a woman who was digging into the murders and other crimes of a man in in the Sacramento area in California. The Golden State Killer, I think is his moniker, back in like the 70s, 80s time. And I read it. Guys, get this, I have a video on it. It is the I Read Thrillers for a Week video from October around Halloween time. So if you want a more in-depth review, or go watch that. I'm gonna go put this in... I don't know if it's injected. I think I do I'd recommend. And I think it's at the top of I'd recommend because it is really good. But I didn't think it was 5 stars just because I feel like there was some stuff missing. But, you know, we can't really blame them because the author literally died before it was finished being written. So I think and other people put it together and published it after her passing. So I think from what it was really good. But I do think if she had been able to finish it, it would have been better. Is that harsh? Maybe. But I still would recommend it. And if you haven't read it, I would recommend it. But I don't think it's an injected. Next, we have Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. Now, obviously, this is not my first time reading Percy Jackson. I read it as one does, when I was 14. What's wrong, girls? Uh-oh, we got another dog in here. Hi, sweetie. But I wanted to reread it. And I listened to it as an audiobook this time because I wanted to see if it held up. I wanted those same vibes because I also want to watch the TV show I haven't seen any of it and I really need to. So I just want to reread it. I mean, it's got to go and inject it. Like, it's a classic. It's just a classic. It's always good. It's always going to be good. If you've never read these books, you need to. That's the second one. I also have the first one here. I'm going to go ahead and put that in and inject it too because, I mean, it just has to, right? Here we go. All right. Injected. I mean, they have to go there. You know, they just have to. Next, we have Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Look, guys, this book is beloved, okay? I'm gonna put it in just plain bad, okay? It's just plain bad. Guys, come on. Who recommends this? Who recommended this to me? And there was a whole drama on TikTok where book talkers were like sexualizing the characters in that when they were like 17, and it was like I felt weird reading the book. So I saw that before I read this book, so it kind of just made it a weird vibe. But what I will say, if you've never read fan fiction, if you didn't have a fan fiction phase when you were like in middle school, you might like this. It's like I definitely read very similar things when I was reading Percy Jackson hurt/comfort fan fiction when I was, again, 14. So if you've never done that, okay, I'd recommend. But like the writing, it was just very juvenile. Wasn't my thing. There are other books I would rather read, so I'm putting it in just plain bad. But I don't think I want to put in Soak My Brain in Acid because I don't think it was that bad. Like, I don't wish I hadn't read it. Like, I think it was fine. But I read that's the first one. I also read the second one, so I'm gonna go ahead and here we go. Keeping 13 is the second one. Honestly, I might put this one in Soak My Brain in Acid because I just didn't need the second one. I think they needed to cut out a bunch of it and make it into one book because I just didn't need the second one. Just wasn't giving. So I'm gonna put that one in Soak My Brain in Acid. And the other one just went bad. Next, we have In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado, which I read this summer. It's a memoir. It's got kind of poetry vibes too. It's very good. I'm putting it in Inject It. If you can handle talks of abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, domestic violence kind of thing, I would really recommend it because it is so good. So the thing that really drew me in was like every chapter is like a different, it's called the dream house. The book is, and so it's like a metaphor. So like each chapter is a different part of the house kind of thing. And the structure of this was so good. It was just like so interesting, and I'd never read anything like it before. So I think that's why I really like it. The descriptive language was beautiful, and there was like excerpts from like other forms of media and like journals and like intellectual papers and things. So I felt like I was learning while also getting my heart ripped out of my chest. So I really recommend that book. So it's going in and Inject It. Okay. Okay, guys. Listen. Let me preface these next two books. I don't know what happened. But my Spotify Wrapped came out a couple days ago, and it told me that I listen to audiobooks on Spotify sometimes because you get like a free 15 hours with a premium subscription, and these books were on there, and I don't know if I was recommended them or if I just stumbled upon them on Spotify, but my my Wrap told me my biggest reading day of the year was when I read these two books, and I listened to the entire first one in one day and then immediately started the next one. While I think I listened to it while I was working, and then, on my drive home and whatnot. So, yeah, they are by Jay Bree, who wrote some other books that are on this list. But it's basically, look, guys, don't judge me. It's, what's the word? What's the word when it's like one girl and she dates like a whole bunch of guys? Reverse harem? Is that what it is? It's basically reverse harem. And each book is about the different guys, I think. So I read the first two and they were like okay. But I was hooked for a minute there, obviously. I listened to it all day. And then I listened to like a quarter of the third book, and then I just gave up and stopped. But like objectively bad, right? Like they were bad. And like bad stuff happened, and she still ends up with them I think later in later books, and like they're like, so I don't know if I can't recommend these, and I don't. Like, don't read them unless you're into that sort of thing. Then sure, maybe. And I think they're worse than May. Yeah, they're worse than all these. I unfortunately I do know this man. Loki soaked my brain in acid, right? Or just plain bad. I think we're gonna go just plain bad. I didn't put the third one here because I DNF'd it. But just know if I did, it would have gone in there. Okay, we're putting them both in just plain bad. Yeah. So. Okay, next we have Butcher and Blackbird. Okay, hear me out. If you'd like to hear my deeper thoughts on this, again, I watched it or listened to it for a video. I think the video is called Reading Books I Think I'll Hate. Yes, that is that one. So go watch that if you want for further thoughts. But for now, I think I'm just gonna put it at... I don't know if I'd recommend it because it's kind of dark, right? Like, I don't think I would recommend this to people in my everyday life. So I think I'm gonna have to put it in meh. You know what I'm saying? Actually, let's put it here. I'll put an I'd recommend because I read the second one as well, which is Leather and Lark, and I did not like that one as much. So I'm gonna put that one in meh. How about that? I don't think I said the author of Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. That is who wrote that, and she also wrote Leather and Lark. Okay, next we have Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. Okay, so this is a YA book. It is the second book in the series. The first one is Just Like the Movies, I think, and this is like the they are in college now, and it's a second chance. They like broke up, and they're this is after that. I really liked the first one. I would probably put that in and Inject It, honestly. This one I've liked as well, but not as much. And I I don't know, it didn't really stick with me like the first one did, so I think I'm gonna put it in meh. Yeah. But I really liked the first one. But I read that in 2024, so if you haven't read that and you like YA romance, go for it. Okay, next we have Variation by Rebecca Yarros. I, again, talked about this in my very first YouTube video more, so if you want to hear that, go for it. It's Rebecca's contemporary romance. I thought I'd give it a shot because I had only read, Fourth Wing and that series. I think I'd put this in meh too. It's just, I don't think I'd recommend it. I think there are better romances out there that I would recommend ahead of this. So I think I would put it in meh. It's like fine. I think I gave it like 2.5, 3 stars. So yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. Okay, next is Playbook. I think I read this kind of recently. Like maybe like September, October. I have no concept of time. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I could go look at my Goodreads review, but I think for honesty's sake, I have to put this in I don't know who this man is, because I simply don't remember a single thing. All of the cowboy romances and all of the sports romances kind of just run together for me. They kind of just, at a certain point, sound like the same book. So, yeah. Next, we have Oathbound by Tracy Deonn, which is the 3rd book in the Legendborn Cycle series. Do I have other ones in here? Okay, yeah, I have all 3 of them in here. So I'm just going to put those together. Okay, so the first 2 I'm going to put in Inject It because they're just objectively great fantasy books. They're YA. They're set at the college I went to, and it's, using mythology, I guess. Is King Arthur kind of mythology? Is using mythology that isn't normally used in fantasy. I haven't seen it before, really. So it's great writing. It's perfection to me. The 3rd book, however, I found a little lacking. Just because, she says this. It was a book she'd never planned to write, and it kind of just adds, world building, and, we get to see more of the characters and how they interact, and she plays around with alternate POVs and things like that. But it wasn't up to the expectations that I had from the first 2 books. So I'm going to put that one in I'd recommend. Sue me. But I am patiently awaiting the 4th book, and I will devour it. I really didn't think I would have this many in Inject It. Okay, next we have You Between the Lines by Katie Naiman. This is another one that I talk about in my very first YouTube video. And I really liked this one. I don't think everyone is going to like this one. I don't. So I don't think I would recommend it to people, but I'm going to put it in that tier. Also, I do think I'm going to put Oathbound here. No, before Kiss the Sky. She be lagging. Okay. And then You Between the Lines, I'm gonna put that, honestly, I don't think I liked it more than me. So You Between the Lines is gonna go and I'd recommend, although I don't think I would recommend, because I don't think it's the book for everybody. I really liked it. I think it had Ali Hazelwood vibes, which is why I liked it. The characters, you want to just grab them and shake them, and they have a lot of issues that are resolved, but I don't think in reality they would be resolved that quickly. That is my thoughts. But for the purposes of fiction and romance, I enjoyed it. So next, Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. This is the sequel to These Violent Delights. So These Violent Delights is gonna go into I'd recommend. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'm gonna talk about Our Violent Ends. So it's kind of like, it's a mafia in China, Chinese mafia. It's set and kind of back in time a little bit, but there's also this other underlying fantasy aspect plotline to it. I personally really liked these books. I think some people don't, which is okay. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'd put it in front of Kiss the Sky. Okay. But the romance in this, it kind of got a little repetitive at some points. However, the ending, so good. And the characters, I just loved the characters, all of them. The side characters, the main ones, all of them. Loved them. Even the evil characters I had a soft spot for. But I'm putting the second book in Our Violent Ends into Injected, which is shocking because, I mean, there isn't many series you can say where, like, the first one isn't the best one. And it's a duology, so it's only these 2 books, I think. There might be a prequel or something, I'm not sure. I've only read these 2. So good, okay? Our Violent Ends. One problem I had with the first one, why it's not in Injected, is it's a little bit, like, juvenile writing a little bit. But also, I think it's YA. So, okay, guys. Next we have As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. Excuse me. I DNF'd this. Okay? I DNF'd it. Sue me. If you've read this, you're gonna know what I'm talking about, and if you haven't, you're just gonna have to trust me. You're just gonna have to sit here and bear it. But I got to the point, actually, I can give you the exact page number. 59%. I got to 59%, and I said, actually, I don't want these characters to be ruined in my head. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop reading and protect my peace and make up an ending in my head, because my Pip and Ravi, they would never act this way. So I DNF'd it. If I had finished it, I would put it in Soak My Brain in Acid, just so we're clear. But the first 2 books in the series, loved them. They're not on here because I read them in 2024. I'm sorry. if you're mad, I am too. Okay, next we have another DNF, which is Yellowface by, I think, R.F. Kuang. Look, love me some R.F. Kuang. Think she's a great writer. I think the book is well written. I just have issues. And I'll let you in on a secret. I get very secondhand embarrassed. TV shows, people going out and, like, on YouTube videos, going out in public and doing things to strangers, or, like, making a fool of themselves or being embarrassing. I have to cover my eyes. Can't watch. Okay? Don't want to see it. I feel enough of that embarrassment in my own life. Don't want to see it in my entertainment. Okay? So I DNF'd it. I just couldn't, okay? I was cringing, and I think that's the point of it. However, I don't want to do that. I want to use these books my reading is for an escape, and I felt trapped. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I DNF'd. And that is no hate to the book. If you love this book, I'm sure it's great. It's a personal issue, and that's okay, I think. So, next, we have, this is the Serpent and the Wings of Night series. This is the second one. That's right here. But, the first one's over here. I'm going to do them together. I didn't finish the series. I only read these first 2 books because I'm going to be honest, I didn't really care about the other characters. I only wanted to finish this story. Now, I loved these books. Both of them. I think I'm going to put the first one in Injected, because I've loved the first one. So good. But I think I binge read them so close together that I can't really differentiate them in my head. So I can't really tell you what happened in one and what happened in the other. This is the mistake I make. It's by Carissa Broadbent also. I love when I get hooked by a book and a series, and I eat it up because it's so good and I want to finish it. But with that, I then read it too fast. Okay, yeah, I rated this one less. So I'm going to do The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King in I'd Recommend. Oh my god, guys, I literally counted earlier, but it's literally just right here. 75. Okay. Fantasy novels and their titles, bro. So many words. Like, I get it, it's all been done before, so you gotta do something new, but... Okay, so the next book is the Mortal Fates series. The first one's called The Crown of Oaths and Curses. It's a mouthful. By, again, Jay Bree, who wrote the Broken Bonds series that I put in Just Plain Bad. Look, I think these books, the plot, really good. So interesting, so entertaining. I was hooked, okay? My problem lies in the writing. I don't know if it was just in the ebook edition of these books, but so many issues. Like, spelling errors, punctuation errors, like, excerpts and, like, phrases that were just, like, copied and pasted in other spots, and, like, the word changed a little bit, and you're like, why did you repeat that? I already read that part. Like I already got that description of this person. I don't need it again. You know what I'm saying? It was like they need a better copy editor, I think is what they're called. But the plot was so good that I kept reading, and I'm gonna read the third one probably when it comes out. But just going in that is not a well-written book. And the second one also had some like plot issues where like this thing happened and it was very like out of left field and it didn't feel fully fleshed out, and I was very confused as to where the person came from and where this came from and how we got here. So I enjoyed it more than the Broken Bonds and Binding 13. I think I'm gonna put it in meh because I don't think it was bad. I think it just needed a better editor. You know, one more editing and rewrite through and it would have been there. You know what I'm saying? It was true enemies to lovers, by the way. There was, you know, if that's not your thing. So I think I'm gonna put it in meh. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in meh. Next we have Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. Probably one of those most common names in America. Like that's like a Jane Doe name. Anyways, I loved this. I'm gonna be honest. Should I put it in inject it? No. Yeah, I'll put it in inject it. What? Why the f- not? I loved it. And that's coming from someone who DNF'd the first 2 books in this series because they were so bad. Look, they weren't bad. They just weren't my cup of tea. I was just bored. This one, though, so cute. Loved it. I listened to an audiobook, which I'd recommend. I listened to it in there twice, I think. So, you know, that's all I gotta say, right? I think I'd inject it. Yeah, inject into my veins, bro. Okay. Uh-oh. Y'all see what I'm seeing down there? Uh-oh. Next, we have A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I'm so sorry if I did not. So, I also go do in-depth reading of this. It's like a vlog type of style, and it's hella spoilers, so just know that before you watch. In a video called Reading Books I Think I'll Hate. Same video that I read, Butcher and Blackbird. If you would like my like real-time thoughts on it. However, since having time to sit on it, those are like my raw thoughts in that video. And now that I've sat on it and I've, you know, heard things about the author and things that she has said, and when I first read it, I was like, oh, this is, you know, it's great writing. This writer's really, like, is beautifully written. I will say that. And that is objective, okay? But at the same time, I don't agree with a lot of the choices that were made. The overall message it was trying to send, don't agree with it. Didn't like it. Wish I could soak my brain in acid. If you're seeing where this is going, yeah, that's gonna go in Soak My Brain in Acid. For the sole purpose that I wish I hadn't read it. And I mentioned this in the other video. It's like that scene in those 2 scenes, by the way, in 18 Reasons Why? Is that what it's called? That series on Netflix that was really popular a lot, like years and years ago. Look it up if you haven't heard of it. But there was 2 scenes in that show that were cut after many people had already seen them, me being someone who saw both of them. And they are scenes that are stuck in my head to this day. Like I can see it because it was so, you know, jarring, and things like that. When you see someone, you know, no cuts, no blurs, all of it sticks with you, right? But anyways, this book sticks with me in the same way. So I wish I could soak my brain in acid for that reason. Do I think it's an awfully written book? No. However, the author is a woman. I don't know her sexual orientation. However, she writes a lot about gay men. And this isn't her only book about gay men and exploring that. Which, you know, it objectively is not a bad thing. However, what makes it a little questionable to me is when you are almost glorifying these awful things happening to gay men. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't you think you should leave the trials and tribulations of gay men to be written by gay men? Like, I'm getting a little big for my britches here. However, I don't know. It was just, the more I reflected on it, it was kind of this, look, it's just completely hearsay and my own opinion. But it's kind of giving, like, when someone, it's like kind of giving, like, kink exploration. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It's like, she, like, likes it when these people experience these painful things, right? Because, and I say that because she could have made her point with her book without half of the things that happened to this person. You know? Like, it was just like an unreasonable amount of pain and trauma that happened to this person. Genuinely unrealistic, I think. Sure, it's probably happened before, but like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Yeah, I'm putting Soak My Brain in Acid, and I know people love this book. Maybe it's just not a book for me, and that's fine. But yeah, anyways. Hey. Okay, so the reason I said that I've actually read more than 75 books, part of that is because I read, I think, 8 of the Zodiac Academy books, but I didn't log them on Goodreads because I was gonna just do my final review in the last book and just log that as one, because I didn't feel like writing a review for every single book because it's a lot of them. Oh my god, there's so many books and so many like novellas. Like, what? So I read 1 through 7 completely, like finished those, and then I started book 8 like probably 1 or 2 chapters in. But I think I got all of what I'm gonna get out of those books out of them. I thought there was supposed to be more than 9. Did she like change it? Because this one says this will now be book 8 of 9 in the series. So like, did she change the... Anyways, so I'm just gonna put all of them into just plain bad. Yeah. Like, I ate these up, I will admit. Binged them. However, they're not good. It's like watching a car crash that you just can't look away from. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. I don't know if I have much to say on it. It's kind of giving me the same vibes as like the Magnolia Parks, which I will get into later, of like, it's just not great people, not much growth and resolution, and it's just like so many things happen and they just never get a break. And it's like they'll have 1 second of happiness and then immediately something bad happens, and it's like, come on, you gotta give us some reprieve. Like, we need a second. I just need a second, okay? It's just too much, too many plot holes, plot points, too much going on. Like, let's make some cuts, let's make it a shorter 5-book series max, cut some stuff, and you have a better series, okay? Next, I was on a bit of a mafia romance kick for a second there, and I read the Sinners duology. Okay, Sinners Condemned is the first one, and I actually rated it pretty high. I did. I gave it 4 stars on my Goodreads. But I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't remember it at all. I really don't. Couldn't tell you a single thing that happened to it in it, so I'm gonna go with I don't know who this man is for both of them. I do remember not liking the second one as much as the first one. I got bored. And that just tells me that they made this a duology when they could have just made one book. And then maybe I would have remembered it, but I didn't. So we're gonna go with I don't know who this man is. It's by Sam Sketcher, by the way. That's the author of the Sinners books. Next, we have Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. Sure, that's probably the name. Ooh. Yeah, I don't remember this at all. Gonna be honest, I don't know who this man is. It's probably fine. What did I rate it? I gave it 3 stars. So, yeah, I mean, it's just an unremarkable romance, I think. Okay, next we have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Another Ali Hazelwood book that got a lot of back and forth on the internet. People love it or hate it. Look, I liked it, guys. I liked it. People were like mad that it was marketed as like a kinky book, and they were just like, it just wasn't. And guys, they were exploring. They were exploring. It wasn't. They weren't just gonna immediately jump into the deep end. It they were just testing the waters, tipping a toe in. And that, I mean, what did you want them to do? They were college students. Anyways, if you want that kind of book, go read a different book, is what I'm saying. And yeah, there were some issues with how the main couple got together, because the guy was dating the girl's teammate and friend. However, that wasn't a problem for me. Because honestly, that girl was being a bitch. And I was like, yeah, him. Like, date him, please. Because she's pissing me off. So, that wasn't a problem for me. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I listened to this on audiobook, which I would recommend because the narrator for Lucas, I can't remember his name, really good. Got the accent, great. So I'm putting this in I'd recommend. I don't think it's injected level, because I do think it could have been better. So I'm putting it in I'd recommend. But I did like it better than, I probably put it after Mate, in between One Golden Summer. So we're gonna put it there. Okay. Next we've got, oh, maybe I did read this. Did I really? I thought I read that in 2024. Otherwise I would have done it all at the same time. Sorry, guys. Sorry, all 2 of you that are watching this. Oh, I did. I read it in February. Okay, I lied to you all. So, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that's the first one. That's going in and inject it. I loved that book. So good. It's YA mystery, and it's perfection. The main character, Pip, I'm sure you've heard of this book. It's by Holly Jackson. She tries to solve a murder that happened in her town locally, ending kind of like silly, crazy, but it's YA. What do you expect? And there's also a cute little romance. So I really liked it. And then I read the second one as well, which is Good Girl, Bad Blood. I do think it was not as good as the first one. However, I still really liked it, so I'm gonna put it in I'd recommend. And then we all know how I feel about the third one. Well, let me do some rearranging. I would put Good Girl, Bad Blood. I think I'd put it at the top of I'd recommend. I think I would, yeah. And then I think I would I'd probably move Ashes in the Star, Cursed King up a little bit more, but I don't really care, because it's like whatever. Okay, and then we've got Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I know people love Abby Jimenez. I've really tried. Okay. She has this one book that I tried reading a long time ago, and it kind of just put me off of her. It was the one with the roommate, and I think I DNF'd it, but it was just so hard to get through, and I think it just kind of like tainted the rest of her books. So while I enjoy them, I can never enjoy them as much as I think I should. You know what I mean? Like, I think if I hadn't read that book, I would give them whatever. I'm gonna be honest, I can't tell you a single thing that happened in this book. Was this the one with the doctor? Yes. So I really liked this one. I couldn't give you a plot summary. Couldn't. However, I do remember my feelings about it. And I remember really liking it, but I remember the ending. I think I'm gonna put it in I Don't Know This Man. Because again, I just don't remember anything about it. I do my Goodreads review on it because I think it's funny. I said I was gonna give this 5 stars, which that's crazy, because I don't even remember it. I was gonna give this 5 stars, but the ending kind of threw me off. Why was everyone so fertile? I think like a bunch of people at the end got pregnant, and I was like, why are we doing this? I think Abby Jimenez might have a pregnancy thing, because I think that was also something that happened in the book that I didn't like from her. Let me figure out which one that was, actually. Oh, The Friend Zone. Is that it? Is that the one that's really bad? I think that's it. Okay, next we have The Dixon Rule. Oh, actually, I need to add something to this. So I guess we have 76 books. Now The Dixon Rule made me think of it. The Dixon Rule is the second book, Campus Diary series by Elle Kennedy, who also wrote that other hockey series that I can't remember at the moment, but they're making a TV show out of it, I believe. The Score, it's the off-campus series, and then she also has the Briar U series, lots of sports romances, great. So this is the second one. I definitely read the first one, but I think I must have been in 2024. I didn't love the first one in the series, but I kept going. But I really liked the Dixon Rule. I think that it's the best in the series. Granted, I don't think I've read every single book in the series, but it's pretty good. I liked the characters in this the most. I liked the romance in this the most. It felt the most wholesome and genuine, and like there wasn't a lot of issues that couldn't be overcome, whereas I feel like in the other books it was kind of that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put this one in I'd recommend, honestly. And if I recall, the SMUT in this, pretty good. On that same note, I also tried the Charlie Method, which is the next book in the series, and I DNF'd it. I did. I DNF'd that girl. You would think, you would think that a book about one girl, two guys, throuple kind of situation would be super entertaining and good, right? You know, sounds fun and exciting. Most boring book. So boring. I was so bored. And I was listening to an audiobook, which you'd think would be more entertaining. Oh my god, y'all. So bad. And not even just that, but the protagonist, the female main character, whose head you're in the entire book, oh my god, she's just so... I don't even know what the word to use is. Just kind of... She picked me? Is that it? Or is it like... I think I might have written about it in my review. Let me see. I did up to like 60%. Elle Kennedy as a whole, super hit or miss for me, which is why I do appreciate that her series are interconnected standalones, so you don't have to read all of them to get the you know, understand what's going on, because they're each about a different couple. But even her like most popular series, Off Campus, it's like it's bad. A lot of them are bad. There are some good ones, but overall. But the Charlie Method specifically, what did I say? Oh, I said Charlie is so annoying. Like, we get it. You want to be different and you're not like other girls and you have to hide your true self. Please spare me. Also, she was just boring. I don't know. I just wasn't seeing why these two guys were so obsessed with her. I said writing this review makes me feel misogynistic, so I'm going to stop there. It did. It made me feel misogynistic because I was like, why do I hate this girl? I don't like hating girls, but I hate this girl. I would not be her friend. I would not date her. Why do these men... I don't know. Yeah, that is why I stopped reading it. Next, we have fan service, which, guys, I really liked it. Let me see who it's by. Rosie Danan is the author of Fan Service. This is a book about... It's romance. Supernatural romance, which I was telling you I've been loving lately. And so basically this actor starred in like a Teen Wolf kind of show when he was younger, and now he's older and he's still trying to like relive his glory days, and he's not getting much acting work these days, but he turns into a real werewolf, and he reaches out to the leader of... I read this recently, so it's on my brain. The like admin of the like wiki page of his TV show, his old Teen Wolf TV show, to ask for like information on werewolves because he's turning into one. And they end up meeting and falling in love, of course. But I really liked it. I thought it was so good. I thought it was really creative. I thought it was just fun. And was, you know, it wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed it. So if you're looking for something like that, I'm going to put in I'd recommend as the tier. But yeah, it's a good one. Okay, next I have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Guys. There are very few places I think that, trigger warning, dead puppies belong. And a romance novel is one of them. I do not think they belong anywhere near a romance novel. Get that out of my face. Don't want to see it. Don't want to hear it. Why would you put that in there? I don't think it was necessary. It wasn't the people, like main people's dogs. It was like in the past or something. I don't know. But still, it's just, you automatically ruin it for me. I'm gonna put it in meh. Because like overall it was an okay book. Like, it was pretty well written. The couple was like fine. I don't know, it didn't stick with me that well. Also, I think it was like very emotional for some reason. I was like not expecting it. It was more like contemporary romance and like rom-com, and I feel like that's not usually Abby Jimenez's vibe. So yeah, I don't know. It was like a long distance thing. I don't know. It was fine. Next we have Real, which I believe is by Kennedy Ryan. I think this book is also I talk about in my very first YouTube video. So if you want to hear more in depth, go over there and watch that. But I'm going with Inject It. I love Kennedy Ryan. She's never written a bad book. I love all of her books that I've read. So yeah, we're going with Inject It. It's a great romance. This is the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. The first one is Once Upon a Broken Heart, and then we have The Ballad of Never After, and then A Curse for True Love. I read all three of them. Why? I don't know. Okay, like the first one, didn't like it. I can't believe I read the rest of them. I'm gonna put A Curse Upon a Broken Heart in just plain bad. Alright? I'm sorry. I know that's gonna hurt some of you. I just found it quite juvenile and just, I don't know, the main character wasn't. She was just kind of dumb. I think she was supposed to be naive. I found her dumb, right? And hey, props to you, because that's not usually the norm in a fantasy lead character. They're usually like weirdly smart or weirdly strong, or have something about them that makes them special, which she had other things, but they're usually not just straight up dumb and too trusting. And yeah, that's what's sweet about her and wholesome, sure. But it was just, girl, at certain point you have to learn, right? We have to learn and grow. Okay, there was none of that throughout the entire series, gonna be honest. So, first one, just plain bad. I'm sorry. Didn't like it. The other two, however, I liked more. So I'm gonna put those in meh. I don't think I'd recommend them. So they're both going in meh. Things, there we go. Meh. Next is The X-Vows by Jessica Joyce. This was a second chance romance. I really liked this one. I'm not normally a second chance girly, although I do read a lot of them. But when they're done right, I think they can be done well. This one hit a little too close to home for me from past experiences. So it was, it was just like the issues that they were having and the like conversations they were having were a little too on the nose for my personal life. But I still liked it, and I really liked the couple. I think their reason for breaking up was kind of stupid, gonna be honest. I mean, not stupid, but it was just like when there's like a lack of communication, it's just like, come on, guys. It's a tired trope. I'm tired of it. Give me something better. So, But I'm gonna put it in, I think I'd put it in I'd recommend. I think it's better than meh. I really liked it. I thought it was well written. And there was just some things I think would be better. That's why it's not, and on the Inject It level. Okay, next we have Onyx Storm, which is the third book in the Empyrean? Sure. It was good. I mean, I'm attached to these characters and this story at this point, so it's hard to be objective about this book. It's definitely not Inject It. It's definitely not the best in the series. But I think it's meh, guys. No, I don't know. This one's hard to be objective. This one's hard because objectively, it's not a great book, but I liked reading it because I like the characters and I like the plot and I like the stories. I'm gonna go with I'd recommend, but I'm gonna put it near the top because this was not better than Oathbound, so I don't think I could put it. Wait, oh, actually, okay, I'm okay with that. I'll put it in I'd recommend. Okay, it feels good there. I think it feels good there. First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I really liked it. I can't really recall like exact plot points. I remember an overall, what happened. It was like her daughter is a woman and a man. Oh no, the male main character hosts a radio show, and he people call in with their relationship problems, and he gives them advice. I think is what it is. And the female main character has a daughter who's, I can't remember how old she is, but she's old enough to use a phone. So she calls the radio station and is like, "Hey, I need to find my mom a man." The mom comes on the phone, and the crowd loves it, and so they set up a series where he tries to find the mom a man. But he ends up being the man, of course. So it's really sweet. It's really cute. I'm gonna put it, I think it's on the same level as You Between the Lines. Did I really put You Between the Lines above Deep End? I'm gonna have to change that. I'm gonna put it there. Okay, I need to change these. Okay, I'm gonna put You Between the Lines here. And then X-Files and fan service, I'm also gonna move. I'm gonna put fan service. I'm gonna put that here after Sweet Heat. And then X-Files. Probably above You Between One Golden Summer. Okay. That's my ranking as of now. Okay. Cool. Okay, this ad up here, this Brookside bitch. Holy cow. That's cramping my vibes. Okay, what we saying? Okay, next we have Heartless Hunter. And that is a series, and the second one is Rebel Witch. So I'm gonna put that one up there with it. Guys, we're almost done. I'm so excited. Okay, because now I can go eat dinner. Okay, Heartless Hunter, Rebel Witch. We're injecting both of them into our veins. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think I could give you a plot summary because I was in like a fever dream reading these. I was at the beach, so I didn't have any. I was just sitting outside reading. Like, I read so many books that week. This being two of them, because I was at night, in the morning, on the beach. I was just everywhere. I was reading it. I think I read these in like 2 days, like both of them within a 48-hour period. And and again, I made that mistake where I read too fast, and now I can't differentiate them in my head. I can't remember very much specifics. I need to go back and read them. But I do remember texting my mom. If I recommend a book to my mom, that means it was good, because she doesn't have a lot of time to read. So when I recommend her stuff, I'm like, you need to read these. And I literally texted her as soon as I finished the second one. I was like, Mom, I just read these books within 48 hours. Like, you have to read them. I don't think she has yet, because she's a busy woman. She's a teacher doing the Lord's work. Inject it. Read those if you haven't. So good. I love anything involving witches, and so does she, which is why I recommended them to her. Love a witch hunt. That's all I have to say on that. I hope this doesn't find you by Anne Lang. I think that's how you pronounce that. If not, I'm sorry, and correct me, please. So this is a YA romance. Basically, it's about as YA can be, and I say that with all the love in the world. But if you don't like YA, you're not gonna like this, because it's very teenage girly. There's like a lot of drama, as in I didn't think it was a big thing at my big age of 25, but when I was, the character's age, I probably would have had a similar reaction. It's just a lot sometimes, okay? But we love the drama. I live for it. So I liked it. I think I'm gonna put this in I'd recommend, because it's just classic. It was well written. The characters, an interesting, where should I put it though? I think I'm gonna put it behind here. It was just good read. It was just a good read, and I would recommend it if you like YA. Next we have Wild and Wrangled by, I think it's Lila Sage. This is I believe the last book in her Rebel Blue Ranch series. I've read all of them. And in my review, I think I said this was my favorite of the series, but I don't think that's true. I think the third one is my favorite. But, you know, objectively, these aren't great books. For what they are, they're good, as in if you just want a classic, cute cowboy romance that might have some cringe dialogue during smut scenes. Hey, this is a series for you. They're short, quick, easy reads. I also just like, I don't remember this one, and this is the one I remember the other ones more, and this is the most recent one I read. So I think I'm gonna have to put it in I don't know this man. I'd probably put it in meh otherwise. So it, you know. Oh God, I just saw who's next. Alright guys, my nemesis is next. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Listen guys, this author, her range, crazy, because how does she have... Oh, this is not also in order. Injected is not in order. That is not the best of the year. I think Legendborn is gonna have to be my best of the year. Hello? Put her over here. How do I move it? I think honestly Conditions will be at the bottom. Actually, Beg, Borrow, or Steal probably. Oh, and let me fix this. I don't know if I can put Percy Jackson at the top. I mean, it's clearly better than some of these. But a lot of it is nostalgia. Like, yeah, it's well written, but it's also written from the POV of a 12-year-old boy, so it's kind of hard to get into it as much these days. I think Heartless Hunter needs to move up. I think I liked Heartless Hunter more than Serpents. Okay, I'm good with that. Okay, anyways. But yeah, literally her range, she can have a book in my Inject It category, and then she's gonna have a book in Soak My Brain in Acid. And you know, it's just how it is. Also, I don't know if I should put that one in Inject It, because I'm thinking about it. It was very validating to someone who grew up in a town similar to the main characters, you know, very God-fearing, homophobic, racist town, small town where everyone knew everyone's business and like everyone was judged for everything. And this plot was really good. The only thing that I thought, you know, it was very insta-love for the main characters, but it kind of worked in this case. I usually hate that trope, but the fact that it worked and I didn't hate it makes me want to leave it and inject it, because that is usually my least favorite thing. So I think I'm gonna leave it. All that to say, I'm gonna leave it. Anyways, on to Magnolia Parks. We're putting that in Soak My Brain in Acid. Again, I've talked more in depth about this book in my Reading Books I Think I'll Hate video. So go watch that if you'd like to hear more on thoughts. But just to sum up why it's going into this category: bad characters, bad writing, no growth. I wanted to DNF it so many times. I did binge it. I read it all in like a day, but only so I could finish it faster and move on to something else. I didn't care about the characters. You know, I just didn't. Like, I just fuck them, guys. Like, fuck them. I hate them. Get them out of my face. I'm tired of reading about them. I don't want to hear anymore. And just the stuff that Jessa Hastings would put in these people's mouths, like the words she would make them say. No one says things like that. No one. And people compare it to Gossip Girl, and I did too. You know, it's a very bad episode of Gossip Girl. You know what I'm saying? It's like Gossip Girl meets like the worst reality TV show you've ever seen. You know what I mean? Put that together. That's this book. And again, car crash, can't look away from, but also like, I don't want to see what happens to them. I don't care. I'm sure they end up together, and I've heard the later books are better, the ones about Daisy. I just don't care though. I don't care. I don't want to read it. I don't want it. So, Soak My Brain in Acid, wish I could forget it. Okay. Next is Play Along. Oh, Liz Tomforde. I think that's how you say her name. It could just be Tom Ford, but I think it's Tomforde. This is the 4th book in her Windy City series. Again, I talked about this one in my very first YouTube video. I believe this is my favorite in the series. I never read the first one, Mile High. I just didn't think I would like it based on reviews that I read. Maybe one day I'll go back and read it. I don't know. I really liked The Right Move. I never finished Caught Up, which is the second or the third one. I just got bored. I don't know. Loves Play Along though, and I never finished Rewind It Back. It's not on this list, I don't think, because it wasn't a DNF because I think one day I will go back and finish it. So I didn't put it on there for that reason, but I just never finished it because that came out this year. But Play Along, I'm gonna put Inject It. Hey, I'm gonna put it in Inject It, and that's saying a lot because I usually don't like the accidental marriage trope, which is like when people accidentally get married drunk in Vegas kind of thing, or fake marriage. I usually don't like that, but here it really worked for me. So I'm gonna put it Inject It, okay? I don't know, that feels wrong. Beg, Borrow, or Steal and Inject It feels wrong too. I might move that one down. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it with First Time Caller, because I think I read those at the same time and they gave me similar vibes of enjoyment. Alright, I'm getting picky now. I'm sorry. This isn't a very good tier list because I just keep changing everything. I think that's not the point of a tier list. Okay, next we have Educated. Of course, we have Educated by Tara Westover. It is a memoir. I'm sure everyone's read this by now, but if you haven't, you gotta, okay? I finally read it because one of my real life friends who said it's one of his all-time favorite books, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll finally read it. And I did, and I'll never be the same. It was so beautiful, so, real and raw, and as most memoirs are. Yeah, it pissed me off to no end. And then I also saw stuff about how the mom, wrote her own memoir to, kind of, share her side of the story, and it was just basically, invalidating everything, and it was like, okay, girl, you're literally proving Tara's point. I'm gonna put it with... I think I liked it... I'm gonna put it with this. After... No, probably before Song of Achilles. I think I liked that more. Okay. And then we have another Mafia romance. I told y'all. This is My Sweetest Oblivion is the first one I read of a Mafia, my first Mafia romance. I'd read, fanfic that had that vibe, but never a full, real book. So this is the first one that kind of got me into it. And I think I started at the top and I only went down. Because this one was really good. I enjoyed it. I think I would put it in, I'd recommend, but probably towards the end. But also, I can't really remember anything about it, but I remember liking it. And that's all that matters. Because a lot of these I don't know who this man is. I don't even remember how I felt about them. But this one I remember actually really liking. So, next we have God of the Woods by Liz Moore. If you'd like to hear more thoughts on it, it is in my Reading Thrillers for a Week video. But it's going straight to Inject It. It's just an objectively well written and good and creative book. I think the author's choice of points of view and time jumps were just very well done. So, and it kept me guessing. I didn't predict everything, which is a problem I have in other mysteries and thrillers. So I definitely would put it up here. I'm gonna put it after In the Dream House, I believe. Okay, then we have Face Off. Mask Off. I else remember that trend? I mean, it's a song, of course, but I think there was a TikTok trend of it. Face Off by Chelsea Curto. Again, classic hockey romance. Although actually not classic because the girl actually plays hockey too in this one. So we love that. We love gender inclusion, equality, baby. Let's go. I think I would put this one in meh. I just remember it being kind of unrealistic. The dialogue was just kind of weird sometimes. So I'd probably put it higher on there though, maybe here. And then I also read the second one in that series, which it's called Power Play, which yeah, I think this one's gonna have to go in meh too. I think I liked it less Then Face Off. So I'm gonna put it at the bottom of my category. But I remember my problem with this one. It was, I in my Goodreads review I wrote, look, this was cute and all, but it was literally Play Along by Liz Tumforte with less developed characters and less developed plot. Like, again, it was the marriage trope, and like very similar things happened. It was like she had a job at the sports team, and then she had a sexist boss, and literally the same play by play as Play Along. So that is why, I don't know, it just kind of made me feel weird. I was like, the author definitely read that book, right? But different sport, I guess. So next we've got Arcana Academy, which I believe is my most recent read on this list. Maybe? Look, it was a good book. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna continue the series whenever it comes out. It's by Elise Kova. It's just, it felt like every other romantasy I'd read before. Look, okay, hold on, that's a lie. The magic system with the tarot cards, really interesting. Loved that. Very new, very fresh. Felt like something that I hadn't read before. That part was good. Where I had a problem was, it's just the FMCs in fantasy novels, romantasy specifically, it's just recycled and reused, and I know it's hard to come up, because you need a character that's gonna be brave and strong and gonna be able to do these things, and they're gonna have to take down this government and be a rebel, and of course you need that, but I've just read so many now to where it's just like, when they just all sound the same at a certain point, and that might be a me problem. But I had that problem with this book. It was just the character just felt like something, Clara, it just felt like something I had read before, if that makes sense. It felt like a character I had read before. I liked the male main character a lot. I think he was cool. And then the magic system, like I said, was really new and fresh. And, I love a dark academia vibe. And, there was a lot of, God, take a shot every time I say there was a lot of like plot lines and things that happened I didn't expect, which I appreciate. So I think I'm gonna put it in, I'd recommend, but probably towards the top. Like probably after Onyx Storm. Maybe before Onyx Storm. But definitely after Oathbound. It was good. I'm gonna read the rest of the series, because I think it can only get better from here, right? Like flesh out the main character a little bit more, give her some more depth. Yeah. Okay. Next we've got Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I can't put this in Inject It. Look, objectively, a good book, well written. Christina Lauren, she's a great writer. I think I always enjoy her books. I was so close to giving this book 5 stars, but it's just the thing that, again, I think it's another second chance romance, right? Another thing that happened to the male main character, it's just, I feel like it needed a little more nuance, or like needed to be handled with a little bit more care, or like needed to be talked about or fleshed out a little bit more, because it just kind of felt like they just kind of brushed past the literal crime that was committed, you know what I mean? So that's why I didn't give it 5 stars, and I'm not gonna put it in Inject It for that reason. However, had me sobbing at the end, like a great book, I will say. So I'm gonna put it in I'd recommend, but probably towards the top. Probably before this one. Hello? Y'all, this shit is ass. It is not loading. There we go. These ads, gosh, so annoying. I'm so sorry. I tried to use a different website that didn't have ads, and it was like, it wouldn't load in my pictures. Okay, so it's right here. Right here. Okay, y'all, 4 books left. Okay, next we have Ember in the Ashes by Sabah Tahir. If that is how you pronounce that. If not, I'm sorry. And Torch Against the Night by the same author. This is a fantasy series. I don't think it's romantasy. I would definitely wouldn't qualify it as that. There is romance in it. This is the first 2 books. I've tried finishing the 3rd book 5 different times. I downloaded it on Libby, and it runs out of time every time, and I read like maybe 50 pages each time, so I'm like 150 pages in. Or that math was bad, but I'm like not even halfway through, I don't think, at this point. But I really enjoyed the first 2 books. I thought it was going to be my new like fantasy obsession, but the 3rd book, it's just, I don't know. It's just a lot slower, and I'm not as engaged as the first 2, so. But that being said, I'm going to put the first one, An Ember in the Ashes, I'm going to put that in and Inject It. I really like that one. I gave it 5 stars. I'm going to put it after... I'm going to put The End, I think. Because I don't remember it that well. But I do remember, like, loving it. I was, like, so convinced that was going to be my next binged series. And then it just wasn't. But I do know I didn't like the second one as much. So I'm going to put that one in I'd recommend. Probably after that. Yeah, what are there? Here. Oh, they're right on top of each other. Cute. Okay, then we have Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, my name twin. This is also a book I read for my Reading Thrillers for a Week video, if you want to hear more about that. It was, like, fine. I don't know. I'm gonna put it in meh. Like, it was well written, I guess. But it just, I don't know. It didn't have that it factor. And I don't think I would recommend it. I'm gonna be honest. Because all of Riley Sager's books I've read too. So this might be a bold statement, but they just are all kind of the same a little bit. This one had ghosts. So that was fun, and spooky. But it was just like, I don't know, the same recipe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm probably gonna put it at the end of meh. Okay, and last but not least, another book that I read for my Reading Thrillers for a Week video is The Silent Patient by Alex Nicomedes or something? Is that what it is? I think it's something like that. Michaelides, something like that. Alex Michaelides. Okay. Hey guys. Would you hate me if I put this in just plain bad? Yeah. It's just plain bad. I'm sorry, y'all. It was okay writing. It was just... I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. Here's what I think happened, and I talked about this in the video, but it's just the amount of hype it had on TikTok, and other, reviews I had seen and recommendations I had seen places. I was like, oh my god, the twist, and you will never believe what happened, and oh my god, and it was so good, and blah blah blah. I've never read anything like it. Huh? Have you ever read a book? What do you mean you never read anything like it? I read 3 other books just like it in that same damn video. So, I don't want to hear it. I think, honestly, it was a lot of people's first thrillers like that, and so it made it seem way crazier than it actually was, because I wasn't getting what out of it what other people got out of it. So yeah, I'm gonna put in just plain bad, but I don't need to soak my brain in acid. Like, it was fine. Like, this wasn't that bad, but it's just bad. It's bad. Okay, let me try to remove some of these damn ads so you can see my whole thing. So you can't even see the whole damn thing. Can I zoom out? And this is our final tier list. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you disagree with me. I'm sure people do. And also how you would rank some of these. And tell me your top book from 2025 and also your bottom book for 2025. Also, it's December right now. I'm gonna read books in December, obviously, but it's for another video, so I felt okay not including them in this. So just keep that in mind, that those reviews will be coming too. Also, since it is the end of the year, I don't know if you guys use Storygraph. It is a website and app kind of like Goodreads. However, it shows you like stats of books that you've read and like things like that, and it's a little more in depth than the reviews. and its interface is a little bit more updated and user-friendly than Goodreads, and it was created by a woman of color, I believe. So, you know, we love supporting women. So, yeah, if you have never used that or heard of it, I'd recommend. It's really fun. But I thought a fun thing to do in this video would be showing you guys my stats for the year, and going through some of like my overall books, because like I was a data analyst at my past job until Donald Trump decided that research wasn't something that needed to be funded anymore. So I love a data analytic. I love a graph. I love seeing things aggregated together, seeing trends. So let's see my trends. And you know, I love it even more when I don't have to do the coding for it. So thank you, Storygraph. Love you. We're viewing stats for read books. So books I've read for 2025. So I've read 70 books. I don't think I have added all of the books in here because I don't update it as frequently as Goodreads, because it's just easier on Goodreads, because it just is. Because Storygraph, while it's great, it does ask a lot of questions about the book that you have to fill out, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood to do that. I've read 70 books, 31,000 pages. Okay, I updated it to do audiobooks, so that's not true. I did listen to audiobooks and read less pages, so yeah. Because one thing I do like about Storygraph is you can log it as a different edition. So if you listen to the audiobook, you can log it as the audiobook edition, and it'll count towards hours instead of pages, which I really like. My average time to finish is 5 days, which is kind of crazy. My moods, mainly emotional, yeah. As a Pisces, yeah, I'm an emotional girly. Funny, that's crazy. I guess I read a lot of rom-coms. Adventurous, yeah, my fantasy books. Dark, uh-oh. Lighthearted, okay, that's crazy, the dark and lighthearted. Tense, mysterious, hopeful, sad, reflective, inspiring, informative. Yeah, I'm not a big information girl. I don't really care. I get that enough on you know, the news. Pace, I read 84% medium pace, 6% slow, and 10% fast. And you can click on it and look at the books. Oh. But these were not, well, maybe they were. Page number, less than 300, 5%, 500 plus, 35%, 300 to 499, 60%. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty basic, I think. Audiobook length. Oh, so it did. Okay. I read 30 audiobooks. Damn, girl. Wait, is that what that's saying? Then why does the hours not update? Very weird. Okay. Fiction, non-fiction, 4% non-fiction, and 96% fiction. Yeah, sounds about right. I'm a fiction girly. I like to get away. What is that Taylor Swift song? I go to secret gardens in my mind, and I hate it here. That. Okay, guys, speaking of, I hate it here. It was in my top 5 songs of 2025 on Spotify Wrapped, so yeah. Okay, my biggest genres: romance, contemporary, fantasy, young adult. Well, I read a lot of young adult. Sports. Oh, well, yeah, hockey and such. Thriller, mystery, historical, LGBTQIA, memoir, 3, middle grade. What does middle grade mean? Oh, like for middle schoolers? Yeah, it checks out. Literary, true crime, horror, and crime. Oh, what? No way. Crime. I mean, yeah, I guess, but okay. Print, digital, and audio. Dang, I read like an even amount of. Oh, well, I guess digital. Okay, well, this is inaccurate. I think digital just means ebooks. So yeah, I read more words than audiobook, which is, I think, the goal. I listened to a lot of audiobooks, mainly when I had a job, because I would just listen to audiobooks. Only romance, though, because that was the only thing I could, like, focus on something else while listening to and not get lost, you know what I'm saying? So, that is why I read a lot more romance and listened to a lot of audiobooks, because it was the only thing I could listen to, like, 8 hours a day while sitting on a computer coding, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Jay Bree. Ali Hazelwood, Tracy Dion, yeah, Stephanie Garber, 3, huh? Oh, well, yeah, the whole series. They're Chloe Gongs, yeah, okay, yeah, checks out. I haven't logged any for December. Well, yeah. Man, August, that was my peak because I was at the beach and reading. I read like all those 10 books. I think I read 5 in that 1 week, which is crazy. Yeah, I had a lull in June. I must have been busy. Cool. And then my stars. I'm a solid, yeah. Wow, 14 5 stars. Wow. What did I give 5 stars to? Yeah. I mean, these were all in my, yeah, checks out. These were all in my, yep. I was all in my, injected. Yeah, yeah. What is my average? My average rating is 4.04. Man, I'm generous. So that's what I'm saying. 2026, I'm not gonna be as generous. Okay, watch out. Yeah, those are my stats. There is a feature, by the way. If you're like, man, I don't wanna. How am I gonna enter in every single book from Goodreads to get Storygraph? There is a way to do it. You can. There's directions I think on Storygraph, but you can also just Google it. And basically, Goodreads has a feature where you can export like all of your review data, and it'll do like a CSV or an Excel file, which you can then upload to Storygraph, and you might have to tweak some things afterwards, but it'll like fill in, log your everything from there, and you basically, yeah, that's all you have to do. So if anyone's interested, just thought I'd plug, because it's something that I like. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, because that makes me feel so validated, and I need so much of that in my life. Happy holidays. Check back in like next week, and I should have another video out, maybe. Bye.